Max looked up from playing his one note and he said, "They're looking for the place. I found it."
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to the show.
I'm not going to make the air horn noise because I heard myself and it sounded really fucking obnoxious.
I did the same thing.
Pew, pew.
I heard myself doing the goal thing, and I was like, oh, that, because I was like, I bet this is annoying, and sure enough, it was. Sure enough, it was.
It's like Dumb and Dumber. You want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? He's like,
Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Lil Ray. Joining me, as always, is Ted the Heist Man. Heistman.
hey.
And we're back in studio again.
We're on YouTube now, though, so we got to go, hey, guys.
Hey, guys. Hey, YouTube.
What's up, YouTube? There's only one guy that I follow that does it. Chris Sane. He's got the stock tips.
We should start doing video.
Yeah?
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, will we break the camera?
Should we clean up the place?
I got a face for
We're going to put all this shit here.
Oh, that's a good question.
Should we have like a green screen behind us and then show like
I feel like I have a
weird
face for radio
scenes?
too, you know.
He's being so humble.
Green screen. We'll just have like we're at the Bahamas. We're in the Bahamas.
Yeah, we should do it. It looks cool, but then you move a little bit and like half your head gets cut off. Like everybody can tell it's fake. It's like,
So what have you been up to, Ted? What's been going on, bro?
I'm trying to figure out a way to save the wolves.
Why?
Because they're fucking
so worried about the wolves all the time?
rednecks are trying to kill them all.
All right, lay it on me. Let's go.
Fucking idiots in Idaho.
Yeah.
So, as many of our listeners may know, wolves were reintroduced to the lower 48 states in 1994. But it was only like about 50 of them in Yellowstone and about 50 of them in Idaho. So now the wolves of the Rockies are like, you know, like 3,000 strong, you know, but fucking 1,500 of them live in Idaho. And people in Idaho are these anti-government types that don't like big government. You know, they're like, don't tell us what to do, bro. Like, what would they say? What would a redneck say? We don't like the government. Like, how would they say it? Like, how would a redneck say
Don't step on my
Don't
toes.
tread on
Don't
me.
Tread on, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what the fuck they say, but just imagine some fucking dumb redneck thing.
Okay.
So these ranchers out there, they've always been against the wolves. And
But why? This is the part I was wondering about.
Yeah.
Like, why? What makes the ranchers hate the wolves?
okay, well, I think it's deep because, like, this Guardian article gets into it. He talks about Barry Lopez because he wrote this book. This guy Barry Lopez wrote this book in the 70s, and it was how like it was called Wolves and Men, and it was how like we wiped out the wolves like in America, like over the turn of the century. You know, like the 1890s and shit. And he gets into the deep psychology of it. Like a lot of people hate wolves because it's like a metaphor for human beings, you know? Like wolves and dogs are kind of like people. And like we're kind of like domesticated. Like us people in America, we live in civilization. We're all like fucking soft and obedient, you know? And but back in the day, we used to live more like wolves, you know? We'd fucking hunt, live out in the fucking woods and shit, live in little tribes, you know, be like free with nature. So some people love fucking wolves, like these, I call them like wolfaboos. They're people, you know, they have like wolf shirts and fucking wolf paintings and
the bumper stickers.
Yeah, they have like wolves painted on their fucking van with airbrushes, you know, like people are into wolves, you know, like a lot of vegans it's kind of ironic because they're like total meat eaters.
Yeah, they're like apex meat eaters.
Yeah, they're like apex predators, but a lot of vegans and stuff. So anyway, I wanted to save the wolf. So let me just skip ahead, okay? Because I'm taking a while to explain this. So the wolves got introduced to Idaho. The ranchers were against it, but it was a federal thing. Like these, you know, like a lot of these conservatives, they believe in states' rights and shit. So they supposedly believe in states' rights. They don't like the federal government. And it's like a point of contention with a lot of these rancher types in the West, because most land in the West is federal land. You know, like it's under the control. It's like Bureau of Land Management land. You know, it's under federal control. And like Trump was talking about giving all the federal land to the states. You know, he was like threatening that, because that's just like a right wing talking point. You know. Like the super redneck, like libertarians that live way out in the middle of the woods and have a fuck ton of guns. Like they're the kind of people that champion like states' rights. They don't, like Ammon Bundy, whatever his name was, that had the face off in Utah with the federal agents because he wouldn't pay his grazing fees and he owed like $1 million. So they were gonna seize his cattle, but then he invited all his militia friends over and they had a big standoff. So that's kind of like a similar mindset you have in Idaho. And the thing with the federal grazing is I fucking hate it because they overgraze and they wreck the wilderness, like riparian areas, you know, where there's streams, like the cattle like trample it and they like shit in the water. Because when I was hiking out west, I hiked the Pacific Northwest Trail, and you hike like through wilderness. Like you don't see people for like days at a time. It's not like the Appalachian Trail. This is like a really hardcore trail, the Pacific Northwest Trail. And I hiked from Glacier through western Montana into Idaho, and it's like deep, like thick wilderness, like huge mountains, and like, you know, it's really remote. So, and I'd run across these fucking cows just wandering around in the woods, nobody watching them.
They just eat everything, too.
Well, they eat everything, and then like you go to a place where you're going to get water, and I'd have like a special filter and everything, but still, you don't want to go to a pond that's just filled with cow shit, you know, because it's all full of like E. coli and shit. It's like nasty, you know. So, they trample like the waterways and shit everywhere, and they overgraze, and it's highly subsidized by the government, these federal grazing permits, and because like if you graze cattle on somebody else's land, they would charge you a grazing fee, and it would be like say like $4 per head of cattle, like per month or something like that. So it's like 4 times as cheap to pay the federal government. Like the federal government's the cheapest entity that you could graze that's not private land.
So these dudes are like, or dudes and ladies are like,
they're just like, they just let their cows run loose on federal land, eat everything,
and they're doing it like for cheap. Like subsidized.
Yeah, because the BLM...
and Bureau, they're also complaining about federal...
Yeah, they're complaining about the federal government. And like the BLM and everybody, they all do all the work to like fix the waterways, make it nice for the cattle. If there's any kind of predation of predators, they send in wildlife services.
Yeah.
And they'll, just on the behalf of ranchers, they'll kill a whole bunch of predators and pests like on federal land. Like they'll go in the wild and like kill a bunch of mountain lions, kill a bunch of coyotes, like just
to help out these
dudes that
are already getting subsidized by them.
Right. And there's already a policy that if a wolf kills a cow or something, or a sheep, they'll get compensated for it. So they already have that. They already have that set up. But anyway, so the wolves are living in the area in Idaho on federal land, and these guys, they feel like they own it. It's like their land, even though it's federal land. So they don't want the wolves there. So the wolves got delisted. They got delisted, but then there was a lawsuit.
What do you mean delisted? Like
they were on the endangered species list.
Okay.
So they were protected. You couldn't hunt them. So I think in 2011 they got delisted because their numbers were high enough that they felt like they weren't endangered anymore, because it's up to like 3,000 or 4,000 between like Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, you know, Eastern Washington. So they delisted them, but then there was lawsuits, and then they didn't have anything. And then during the Trump administration, like he did something to like push it through, so they're totally delisted. So then all these fucking rednecks in Wisconsin, they finally had a hunting season for wolves. They killed 200 wolves in 60 hours. God damn, that's crazy. They're just so wanting to kill as many wolves as they can. But this guy, Barry Lopez, he gets into the psychology of it, you know, so I feel like they resent the wolves because it represents like the wild, and they represent like order and like, you know, dominating nature. I kind of feel like there's
what about the danger for their herd or whatever?
Well, okay, so there's like 6
issue,
or 7 million heads of cattle or something in Idaho or something like that. And less than a quarter of 1% are are killed by wolves.
So nothing gets like hurt by the wolves. Really.
Well, they say they chase them and do different things. But anyway, I mean, you're fucking letting your cows graze in the fucking wilderness with grizzly bears and mountain lions. You know what I'm saying? Even before the wolves, there was grizzly bears and mountain lions.
Right.
And they're way the fuck out in the middle of nowhere with nobody watching them. Like, they die from disease. They get struck by lightning.
Wow.
Fucking people probably poach them because there's nobody watching them. Like, if I had like a gun on me or something, I could shoot one of these calves and like have a fucking veal sandwich and just leave the. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody would stop me.
No one would notice.
Yeah, nobody. Maybe somebody would hear a gunshot and maybe come wonder what it is, but probably not. You know. So anyway, they're trying to. So they have a new law that passed through the legislature that's going into effect July 1st.
And this is in
Idaho. And they're going to have allow government contractors to kill wolves. They have bounties. You could kill them now with night vision goggles. Like, they took every restriction off that they normally have for like a hunting season. It's like unlimited. Like, you could kill as many wolves as you could find.
Dude, that's so wide.
So it's an unlimited season. You could trap them year round on private land. You could use night vision goggles. You could shoot them from helicopters. You could shoot them from snowmobiles. You could shoot them from ATVs. You could shoot them from your truck.
They do this with like the wild boars, right?
Yeah.
Which is an actual problem, though.
It's like an invasive,
breed like that, do they?
Well, wolves can breed quite a bit. They can have 6 or 7 pups in a litter, you know. But
how many litters can they have like in their lifetime?
Well, it's like a pack only has one breeding pair usually because they're set up like that. They have the mother and father.
That's nothing like
so
fucking
not like mice or whatever.
Boars like fucking.
Oh, they have lots of babies.
Yeah,
they have like
shit
13
out babies like nothing.
But they're self-limiting because I listened to this podcast, the Meat Eater podcast with Steve Rinella.
I love Steve Rinella. Yeah,
isn't he great?
Awesome.
So he had this wolf biologist on that was a wolf biologist her whole life, and she saw the whole thing. Like, she was a biologist during the reintroduction, and she watched the whole thing, and she tries to have a balanced approach and get along with all different groups. But what was I saying? Why was I bringing her up?
I don't remember.
Oh, well, anyway, I listened to Steve Rinella, and they had this biologist on. Oh yeah, and she's saying they're self-limiting.
Yeah.
They're not gonna, like, the rednecks think, oh, if we don't shoot all these wolves, they're gonna multiply and then they're gonna eat everything and then there'll just be millions of wolves, like, just darkening the sky. Like, they think of like apocalyptic terms like this, you know? But really, when there's too many wolves in an area, they get competitive with each other. They have different packs and they go to war. They have like pack wars, like this pack will kill this pack and take their territory. So wolves, the number one cause of fatalities in Yellowstone is wolves killing wolves because there's no hunting in Yellowstone. It's protected. So the wolves in Yellowstone are protected. And a lot of times these retired people spend like all their time in Yellowstone photographing these wolves with these big high-powered lenses and stuff. So they know. Yeah. So they have names for them. They know their whole history. They know who their parents were. They know who their kids are. And they know all about these wolves. And then they fucking wander off Yellowstone and then they get shot and killed by hunters. As soon as they leave the park boundaries, like trappers and hunters, a lot of times shoot them. And anyway, so the point is, like, she was saying that they, you know, if there's too many of them, they'll kill each other because they're territorial. And so you're never going to have too many wolves. You know, they're never going to eat all the game.
So do you think that these
rednecks?
Yeah, these rednecks. Do you think that they just don't? Like, I can't see where there would be some ulterior motive. They must really believe that.
They really resent the federal government. Well, no, they really resent it. They're superstitious about them, but they really resent the federal government telling them what to do and reintroducing wolves.
So it could be anything. It's just
like if they introduced like owls, they'd probably want to slaughter all the owls. You know, because we didn't want these owls here. This is the Clintons.
It just becomes like a talking point.
Yeah,
to get pissed off at somebody.
Yeah, I have heard some people talking about these conspiracy theories. You know, like because they think.
Yeah, you were talking about that before show. Bring that up because that's funny.
Yeah, they think that they think that the federal government went way up into the Arctic to find the biggest, baddest wolves they could find that were like hyper aggressive. And some people think they have like 4 sets of teeth and they say they weigh like 250 pounds. But this biologist that studied wolves all her life, like was one of the main biologists.
Yeah.
She says the largest wolf she ever trapped was 122 pounds.
Wow.
But that's pretty big. That's bigger than her, she said. But I mean, they're not 250 pounds. But these people, they'll go to these town hall meetings and they'll be all spouting off. They'll be like, my grandpa was here. They never didn't have no wolves. These wolves are brought in from Canada, and they have 4 sets of teeth. They weigh 250 pounds. Like, they say all this shit in like these town hall meetings and stuff. And so their conspiracy theory was that the Clintons wanted to introduce the wolves to the West, where all the freedom-loving people live. You know?
Yeah.
And so they wanted to reintroduce the wolves, and the wolves were designed to be the meanest, most hyper-violent, aggressive wolves. And they were going to eat all the game, all the wild game in the entire West, just like a herd of locusts, you know, just like denude the landscape. So then nobody would be able to hunt. So then the government would round up everybody's guns because they're like, well, you guys can't hunt anyway. Like, what do you need these guns for? You know, so I guess we'll take them.
That would be the most complex, like complicated conspiracy plan of all time. They're like,
but that's
I know how to get guns.
Yeah, that's a legit belief, though. Like I've heard it before too. Dude. Yeah,
like you have to really be stretching.
Yeah, so they hate these wolves. Yeah, they fucking hate them with a passion. They're gonna. I mean, they're trying to. So there's some regulation. There's some law already established that if they get below 150, then the federal government will intervene and take over. Because that'll be considered endangered again, but they want to get it right at 150. That's what I think. That's what I think the goal is. You know?
Weird.
Yeah. But they killed 500 last year out of 1,500, and then they had enough babies to make up for it. So the next year when they did the census, there was 1,500 again. So they do.
So that seems reasonable. Right?
That doesn't really seem reasonable. I think 500, killing a third of the population every year, that seems like.
Well, if they gain a third every year.
Yeah, but I mean, I think there's
if they gain, I mean,
there's 4,000 mountain lions.
Math, right?
But there's 4,000 mountain lions in that area where the wolves live, and in Idaho, there's 4,000 mountain lions, and so the mountain lions have been there; they're not reintroduced. So I think the wolf population to be in balance would even be higher than.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. It just hasn't reached its
It just hasn't reached it yet. Yeah, because
Okay.
Because the mountain lions are a top predator. There's grizzly bears. There's a lot of wild country. There's 150,000 elk or whatever. But the elk started acting different when they introduced the wolves, because the elk would hang out in the low-lying areas and just eat everything and just be like fat cows, just waddling around a hayfield. So the hunters would be they'd go to a hayfield, they'd have to walk maybe 100 yards, and they would shoot an elk and then bring it home.
So that's another reason
they like it. Yeah, these fat lazy asses. Yeah, so
not want wolves around.
Yeah, so now the wolves chase the wolves up into the high country, and they become more wary and stuff.
Yeah,
they can't find
harder
them.
to get a hold of. Oh, that's funny, dude.
Yeah.
I bet that's part of it too.
Yeah, it is part of it. Yeah,
interesting.
That's part of it. But they don't mind mountain lions. See, they're not trying to wipe out all the mountain lions because you can hunt mountain lions.
And because the federal government's not trying to.
Yeah, the federal government didn't put them there.
Okay.
And my granddaddy used to hunt mountain lions. So if their granddaddy did it, then it's all good.
Interesting. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the reintroduction of wolves in the first place.
Well, this lady said,
weird.
the lady on Steve Rinella, she was against it because she said that they're going to come back anyway. Because there was a wolf that had come in the border in Montana, came through the Waterton Park into the Glacier National Park, and it was from northern Alberta where they got. It was from farther north than where they got the wolves that they introduced. That's the other conspiracy is the wolves are not adapted for this area because they're giant Arctic wolves, and the wolves that used to live here were smaller, so that's why they just eat millions of pounds of elk a week, according to their it's not
right. I did hear Steve Rinella saying that the wolves that they reintroduced were way larger.
Yeah, so she shot that down because
interesting.
The ones that wandered in naturally are from that area,
higher up.
So it's the whole same population.
Okay,
so they're not a different species or anything, subspecies.
Okay.
So, but she said if they let them go in naturally, the ones that the ones that wandered in would be from Canada, where they farm and stuff, and they have lots of hunting pressure on the wolves. So she felt like the ones that wandered in naturally would have been selected to be super shy and wary of humans, you know? So maybe they would have been better that way, because these wolves are from northern Alberta, where it's kind of wild.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of weird when we start trying to like shift.
I think we should do more,
like, stuff around.
I think we should work to have a intact ecosystem. You know, so you
how is it not intact right now?
Well, because it fucked it up. So they had overgrazing, and the beavers were starting to die out, and like the trees weren't regenerating, like aspen trees, because the fucking elk would just chew them down to nubs every time they came up, and so they were overgrazing the area, and it changed the landscape. And when the wolves came into Yellowstone, it put everything back in balance. So there's more biodiversity and like more different, more like beaver ponds, more salmon and like trout and things like that, because the elk fucked up the streams by overgrazing the riparian areas and stuff. So now, it kind of like healed the landscape. It like regenerated it.
Yeah.
You know? So, because it was like a partial ecosystem, you know, without the large predators like wolves.
I just don't know how we're not very good at seeing the future, and then like, you know, whenever like think of like what was that weird story with was it Australia where they introduced some weird species to take care of some other invasive species and just kept creating this weird vicious cycle. Like, I mean, if you look at it, the reason that the wolves are gone in the first place is because of us intervening and fucking around. Like, is it really a good idea to keep poking at it and being like, well, let's try it this way now?
Well, they used to drop strychnine from helicopters. Well, it took a lot to from airplanes. I think it was before helicopters. Yeah,
what to do? What?
Just so wolves would eat it.
Shit!
They would just put random strychnine like all over the fucking prairie.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they had bounties. They had like people. They had wolf hunters. That was their full time job. It's just hunting wolves and getting the bounties.
When was
this? This was like in the 70s. This is when they were finally putting the coup d'etat on all the fucking Indians. They got rid of the wolves too. They killed all the fucking buffalo.
Well, they weren't dropping strychnine from planes in the 1870s.
No, but just like towards the tail end of it, that's what they were doing. Yeah, like the 50s and stuff, 40s. Yeah. But like the turn of the century, like from the 18th to 19th, like that period of time, they killed all the wolves, and that's when they put all the Indians on reservations, and they killed most of the buffalo. They killed all the wolves. They just kind of buttoned things up.
Interesting.
Kind of tamed the West, you know. But I just like the idea of the wild. I like having wolves because I hiked through Idaho and I saw wolf tracks. Yeah. And I was just the idea of like hoping I could see a wild wolf. It made it like more special than if I was hiking through some area that didn't have wolves, you know. Yeah. But the thing is, now that they're hunting them, they don't howl as much because people can locate them.
Smart.
So it's not as cool, even when they're hunting them. But I mean, in Alaska they hunt wolves, so I think they should hunt them a little bit. You know, like they have a normal hunting season like they do for black bears and like.
Yeah, I feel like if that had been the story, I would have been arguing with you more. But it doesn't seem like that's the case. If they're just like you can fucking get machine guns going,
could kill as many as you want.
Put on some night vision. Get
there's
a
no
limit.
That'd be like if you go fishing and you catch trout. There's no limit. You just pull every trout you hook into and just throw it up on the bank, like every day for all summer. Every day, all summer. Like that's fucked up. Nope, nothing else works like that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a great idea. Ooh, sorry.
Yeah, so I want to save the wolves, but I want to make a wolf sculpture. I'm already working on it. Yeah. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to make a website for it. I'm going to sell the wolf, and I'm going to give the money to a wolf charity. But I'm having a hard time finding one because a lot of these are like wolfaboo people.
What do you mean wolfaboo?
They're vegans. Yeah. They're probably furries, some of them.
Yeah.
And they're a little too, wolves are our friends. You should never shoot a wolf. Like, that's not my opinion. I think they should have a hunting season. Just don't wipe them out. Because I think of the population. I don't think in terms of this wolf. Because the lady was saying on the Meat Eater podcast, she was like, the average lifespan of a wolf in the wild is like 4.5 years.
Oh wow, that's nothing.
Like, they don't live long, and if and like people hunt them in areas where they hunt wolves, but even in Yellowstone, wolves kill other wolves. They don't. They get their their jaws broken by getting kicked by elk. Mm-hmm. You know, like sometimes there's hard years, they starve. And like when you're a wolf and you start to get old, you don't become like a cute little old wolf with whiskers and stuff. Like they fucking die. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just die out there.
Like the pack will like help you, but if you can't do shit, eventually you're going to die, you know? If you
maybe even by another pack member, right? Like
yeah, I mean,
fuck you up.
Well, I guess the wolves that were nice to everybody. When they get old, the other wolves take care of them. But I mean, it's probably only for like a year.
Weird. That's
they're not
cool.
Gonna get
fucking dogs.
Well, they're very. Amazing. I feel like they're similar to how we were like early man. You know, like we were like fucking cavemen. We were like little wolf packs. You know, we'd hunt big game, wander around. You know, it's very similar. Like we have a lot in common with like canines.
Especially when we were talking about last week with that thing where they found out that wolves, there's no alpha wolf. It's like
it's just a family,
like a family, family unit,
right?
With like the parents on top.
Yeah. So maybe we were like that. You know, we had bands, and like this, the elders would be people would rely on their wisdom.
I mean, it seems like that, right?
Yeah, it's not like the elders were like bullwhipping
up until now.
Everybody.
Now we kind of like don't do.
Now we have like fake authority.
Yeah, speaking of fake authority, hold on. Which story could I
segue?
Now I just have to find the story to segue to.
The COVID one? The war on reality.
Let's do that. Perfect. Yeah, you want to talk about that? I just finished reading it. That was a fucking amazing article. Who is this by? Tablet Mag, which is hilarious. Is that like tablets? Like
I don't know what it is.
I don't know where it is either.
It's a really good article.
Alex Gutentag is who wrote it.
Gutentag. Isn't Gutentag greeting?
Gutentag. I may be saying it wrong, but that's So what was this article about?
So I mean, I only read half of it, so you could fill in the rest.
I'll pick it up. Yeah,
but it was talking about when this person was a teacher at like an inner city school in the San Francisco Bay Area, and it just fucking devastated the kids. Like one day they said like there's a two-week lockdown, 2 weeks turned into 2 months, then it was like 6 months, and it was like a year, and a lot of these kids didn't have internet at home, and they were fucking just not protected from like abuse, like you know, like child abuse went up, like drug use, like suicide, like all the cutting yourself, like all the bad shit got way worse during the lockdown because these kids that needed that structure in their life.
A lot of dropouts, it said too.
Yeah, right? They didn't have the structure because what are you going to do if your parents are fucking working and then you're home all alone and you don't have the internet? Like, how the fuck are you going to do school?
Or like if you have fucked up parents who are abusive and schools would only escape from them.
Yeah, right.
You know,
and then you get a school lunch. They didn't have that shit anymore.
Yep.
And it really fucked them over. And then like the whole thing with the Wuhan leak, that was all like suppressed. You know. So what did they say like towards the end of the article? Because I kind of just stopped like in the middle of it.
Well, like right here, it started getting really statistical, which is good.
Oh, okay.
Which I like, with lots of links to studies, which I like. Like right here, it says saving lives by killing people. In December 2020, 35% of Americans believe that half of the people with COVID-19 required hospitalization. The correct figure was 1 to 5%.
1 to 5%.
Not half.
Wow.
Americans also estimated that the share of COVID-19 deaths for people between 18 and 24 was 8%. It was actually 0.1%.
Yeah.
These incorrect assumptions were influenced by anecdotes, shocking media coverage, and early projections like the influential Imperial College model, which threatened that without lockdowns, there would be 40 million COVID-19 deaths worldwide.
Oh, yeah.
The model assumed an infection fatality rate of 0.9%, but the actual infection fatality rate is 0.15%. Oh. So they thought it was 0.9. It's actually 0.15, so 0.85% less.
Yeah.
A lot. That's a big chunk, man.
Yeah.
That's a big chunk. 85% less than what they thought, I think. Almost.
Yeah, okay.
Almost. I guess like 75%.
Yeah. It was a lot of paranoia.
The median IFR for people under 70 is 0.05%.
Wow. You like that? You love that statistic? You're like tickled by that statistic.
I love that one, yeah, because everybody was fucking losing their minds over this, and they still are, acting like they're gonna die from it. And there's your right there. If you're under 70, 0.05%.
I know old people that got
infection fatality rate.
I know old people that got it didn't die.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, comorbidities played a really big part of it too.
They're like healthy kind of old people, so.
As a result of mistaken prognostications like this, the media compared COVID-19 to the 1918 influenza pandemic, for which the average age of death was 28. For COVID-19, the average age of death is 73.
Wow.
Half of all deaths are in people 80 or older.
Wow.
While the CDC projected a 1-year decrease in life expectancy for the U.S. population, the overall decrease in life expectancy was only 5 days. And the U.S.'s excess mortality in 2017 was actually greater than the excess mortality in 2020. Wow. So more people, we had more excessive deaths in 2017 than in 2020 in the middle of this terrible pandemic that was murdering people.
Right.
There's no better example of the harm created by flawed simulations and the subsequent misguided interventions in New York's disastrous nursing home policy. While Governor Andrew Cuomo landed a $5 million book deal and won an Emmy for his televised briefings, conditions on the ground for COVID-19 patients in his state were catastrophic. Over 9,000 elderly COVID patients were sent from hospitals back to nursing homes. Additionally, Cuomo required group homes for people with intellectual disabilities to take COVID-19 patients and attempted to issue a blanket DNR guideline for all cardiac patients in New York City. He also denied nursing home requests for testing kits, ignored the concerns of families, and gave immunity to nursing home executives.
Jeez.
Resulting in the death of nearly 15,000 long-term care patients. We've talked about this.
Yeah, before. He's fucked it up worse than any other state, and he was acting like he did it better than everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, they go into the problem with the hospital beds and ICUs filling up, and that never happened.
That never happened?
No.
Really?
Despite concerns about hospital beds and ICUs, field hospitals across the country remained largely empty. Yeah, don't you remember when Trump had all those waiting and they never even got used?
Oh, okay.
No, people keep saying that was the thing. They would say, they're nearly full to capacity, and then but it never went over.
Oh, that's
so. In other words, it did the thing that you wanted it to do.
That's fucking weird.
But the way that the news was, all they had to do was say it in a. So they could have been like, "Hey, we haven't even reached capacity," but instead they said, "We're nearly at capacity." But it's the same thing.
They're always nearly at capacity.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same. You're saying the same thing, but one makes you scared when you hear it, and one doesn't.
Yeah, like you're always poised to like fill up the hospital. That's how I felt.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to reread the whole thing. I guess I'll just link to it. But they go into.
In conclusion, like what do they say at the end?
It's just that we fucked up.
Oh yeah.
That we fucked up and did overkill. Now, I mean, the biggest thing that it starts pointing out is how many people lost their jobs and what the collateral damage from this is all going to be like in the future. Like what's the long-term damage that this is going to happen to people's lives when, years down the line after them losing their jobs last year.
Yeah.
So, and, I'm basically pointing out that that's what we just described is nowhere near as scary as losing your job and having the fucking economy shut down.
Oh yeah. They bankrupted all the small business people basically.
So this is what we were talking about earlier, was whether or not that was on purpose. And I really feel like I think...
Oh, thanks. Well, you get a lot of water.
I feel like, you always run out. You want to pass me that one?
Thanks.
I feel like the pandemic came down the line, and they saw it coming, and then they were trying to... In trying to fix it, they started seeing, oh, hey... This gives us a reason to make sure that all the small businesses stay shut for a while. We just keep pushing it. You know what I mean?
I think Wall Street types knew what they were doing.
I think when it started, it was just health officials reacting, and then those Wall Street types, like you're saying, saw that and said, "Hey," and went over and said, "Hey, why don't you just keep doing what you're doing?
Yeah,
don't pull back. Just keep pushing, keep doubling down." They talk about that in this article too. How even as the science was coming out, which we've talked about this too.
Yeah.
A lot of the shit that we talked about that you go back a year and it was conspiracy theories ended up being completely right.
Yeah, like
you and I aren't scientists.
No,
we're not super smart either.
No.
Like,
no.
like the only reason. So the fact that our health officials didn't come to the same conclusions is kind of fishy, right? That's kind of weird.
Very fishy. But that guy was poised. That fucking Schlob guy. What's that guy's name from the World Economic Forum? Schloss.
The guy in the cape?
Schlob or Schloss. Whatever. He has one of those weird fucking...
Yeah, I don't remember.
He dresses like a wizard. That guy. He was hoping...
That's what I remember.
COVID would happen. He was hoping like...
Yeah.
He had a bunch of shit he wanted to spring on everybody. Just wait for the right opportunity.
Yeah, they've been talking about that for a long time, right?
But it is a big grab of like housing is getting bought up. All these small restaurants that went out of business. You know, all the little mom and pop shops got closed down, but then Walmart, Costco, Amazon, like all the people that are already huge got even bigger. I think like Amazon like doubled its value or something.
Yeah, he made a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, Amazon fucking made bank, but so did Walmart, you know, Costco, like all the big people and all the Zoom type people, all the type of technology that goes with like Zoom calls and shit like that. All those fucking stocks went up. And they knew those stocks would go up because when they knew the pandemic was coming and they met with Congress, a lot of them sold a fuck ton of their stock. Like they actually they may have kicked off the stock market crash.
Really?
Because they were the first ones to just fucking sell all their stock.
Congress members.
Yeah, before they even talked to their constituents, they said, oh fuck, I gotta sell some stock. Like that was like their first decision. A lot of them.
Of course. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No shock there.
And then they bought fucking stocks. They bought stocks like work from home type shit.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. Insider trading.
Fucking smart.
Yep.
Well, not smart. Crooked.
Shrewd.
Right.
Yeah. Like predatory.
Yeah, I just I pulled this up just now. It's the price of the median price of homes has increased 121% nationwide since 1960.
That's pretty bad.
But the median household income has only increased by 29%.
Yeah, but if you bought a house in 1960, sold it now, you'd be making
balling, right?
Yeah, you'd be balling.
Median gross rent increased by 72% since the 1960s.
Yeah, rent's fucking high.
So rent's been increasing.
Yeah.
Home prices have been increasing, but household income hasn't really.
Yeah, that's fucked. Is this part of that article or is this something else?
No, this is a different article. From what you were saying just now was making me think about this.
Oh yeah, the bailout and shit. Yeah.
Well, just how this plan to put us all into this fucking subscription model.
You will own nothing.
Yeah.
And rent your air conditioning.
That's the fucking plan, isn't it?
Yeah. You will rent everything you have. You won't own shit.
Like, forget taking our guns away and shit. Like, this is the real conspiracy theory. Yeah,
we're actually more paranoid than these fucking hayseeds out in
yeah, for sure.
on Idaho. Maybe
we have a higher level of paranoia. We're like, you nerds with your like low level paranoia.
That's funny.
Dude, yeah. I've been thinking about this a lot lately because me and Jess want to buy a house this year, you know?
Yeah, we want to buy a house too.
Yeah, see, and we're in a place with very expensive housing.
It's a really beautiful place.
And where apparently all the shit's getting bought out from under us by like
Blackstone.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
Thanks, Blackstone.
Thanks a lot, jerks. So I don't know, I've been thinking more and more about it.
Should buy land and put up a tough shed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Tiny house.
Yeah. Have you been in a tiny house?
I've seen them. They're kind of cool.
They're tiny.
They have like stairs where you put your shelves.
We stayed at one and
they have like a loft.
We stayed at one for an Airbnb.
Oh, really? Was it pretty good?
No, it was miserable.
Really?
It was so tiny.
Small? Oh,
yeah, it was fucking horrible. I can't believe people try to live in that shit.
Is it hot in there? Like, what was bad about it? You just felt closed in?
Yeah, there just wasn't room to move and shit. Like,
two people. It was smaller than living in a camper? Okay.
Oh, yes.
Oh, smaller than a camper?
Yeah, it was smaller than a camper, yeah.
Oh, that's too small.
Yeah, I believe so.
You felt like you were in a coffin when you were
It was tiny.
Oh,
I mean, I didn't have a problem with it. My wife had an issue with it because I guess she has I like cozy little spots to sleep in. But
she got claustrophobic?
She got way claustrophobic. She was opening windows and shit.
Oh, weird.
Tried to stick her head out the window and stuff.
That's funny.
It was fucking hilarious.
I would try one. I have seen them, but they weren't maybe as small as some of them are.
Well, it looked cool from the outside. I was like, oh, this is good.
What I saw was like the size of a trail, like a half of a trailer.
Yeah, that was.
If you took a trailer and like cut it in half.
I feel like that was this one.
But trailers were fucking tiny homes even before they were cool.
Yeah.
Like, I have a tiny home. That's what you should say now if you live in a trailer.
Dude, that's hilarious.
I live in a tiny home.
Speaking of tiny homes,
it was built in 1970. It's got turn signals.
I'm gonna keep trying segues where I just like kick the segue out before I have one.
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
Let's see if
I see the genius behind it.
What? I don't. Well, fuck. Let's talk about Epstein's clone army.
Yeah. So apparently Epstein had a plan to impregnate, like, I guess thousands of women.
Yeah.
Just like create like some kind of master race or something. And like some people think he may have gotten started on it.
That's what I want to hear about, because I knew about. Yeah. I'd heard about his plans. I think because he has that that place in New Mexico, that ranch, and I think that was supposed to be where it was going to kickstart off the. You don't think it did kickstart?
Well,
that's what I'm wondering. Why did someone say that?
Because he was at that ranch for a long time. And the Clintons stayed every year. They stayed at that ranch every year.
The New Mexico ranch?
Yeah, every year.
I didn't know that.
Every year they fucking came there, yeah. And there was lots of sick shit going on there. It was not like hidden.
And homie, if you go driving through New Mexico and through that area, nothing for miles. It's completely possible to do whatever the fuck you want out there without anybody knowing.
Nobody knows.
Easy.
Cook meth in a camper.
See.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So why do people think that he started it off already? Are there signs? Have people seen the clones?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. Have you read that whole? We should look at the thread. Like, open that thread up and see, because I haven't read. I just kind of perused it.
Let's see. Womp womp. That's from Brainsturbator. I love the fucking best Twitter handle of all time.
He's got good shit. I follow him. He really delves deep into conspiracies, like super deep.
I only saw the first tweet of that thread because it shows a really young Epstein.
Oh, with his personal ad, right?
Yeah, with this weird Bachelor of the Month. Yeah. Financial strategist Jeffrey Epstein, 27, talks only to people who make over $1 million a year. If you're a cute girl, a cute Texas girl, and that's in quotes, write this New York Dynamo at 5. So it's like,
Jesus.
Dude, I got the creepazoids when I read this.
Yeah, that's super creepy.
Like, just seeing that, like, and wondering how many chicks answered that ad.
I wonder why I like Texas girls.
Because Texas girls are fucking sexy, bro.
I thought maybe they were damaged or something.
They're easily targeted.
I feel like that's what he'd be going for, you know?
He's like, that's what he's attracted to.
If you grew up in a trailer park with 2 meth head parents.
So Brainsturbator says he'd been operating on the New Mexico property since 93 to 95. There was a whole underground nightclub there wired for sound and video. It was a bigger compromise operation than anything he had in Florida and New York. Wow. Not only was the breeding program long since underway, we need to accept the fact that some of these kids are already interning in political campaigns, graduating from Harvard, and getting record deals and movie roles. So he is saying that the clones are here among us, huh?
Yeah, the clone army.
Why, though?
Why would they be loyal to Epstein just because he was their fucking clone dad?
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Why wouldn't they be like, fuck you, I'm going to do my own thing?
Generally speaking, kids hate their parents and go against them, right? I'm
following Q for the rest of my life.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they would. I wouldn't be like, yeah.
My real dad was a test tube. Fuck you.
Like, oh, well, I guess I have to serve the Illuminati now. You know, like, why would they conclude that?
Well, clearly they would be brainwashing them in
vitro.
In vitro, yeah. They put like little tiny headphones on them.
It's so gross.
This is crazy though. He's got a picture of Ghislaine and Epstein standing next to Weinstein.
Oh yeah,
at some party.
Which Weinstein?
Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, Harvey Weinstein. Yeah.
and they're like on some crazy get-ups and stuff. As noted in Wizard Chat this fine morning. What the fuck is Wizard Chat?
Oh.
This was likely an angle he offered to the powerful men in his orbit. You can get escorts of any age in every city in the world. What Epstein was offering was a breeding program.
So he bred other billionaires too?
That's what I'm wondering.
Well, they were trying to make like a master race of all the billionaire sperm, just like fucking populate the earth with, because they think they're so genetically brilliant. Like, obviously, I got the good genes. Look at my bank account, right?
He's actually like, I've never seen pictures of him so young. He's actually a pretty handsome dude when he was young, dude.
He looked kind of like Barbarino.
I can
Welcome
see
Back,
why.
Kotter.
He does. Hey. I like this. Someone, Bluesman at So Germain said, "Let's hope she's not a clone," and puts a screen cap of Kelly. What's her name? McEnany. How do you say it? The press secretary for.
Oh, really?
Trump.
Oh, that's fucking funny.
Yeah, I combine it. She's a clone.
That's
you know, she was.
Probably is.
I loved watching her. Did you like watching? Like, I loved watching her.
A lot better than what's her name before.
Psaki, the new one.
No. I mean, oh wait, Psaki's Biden's.
Yeah, I don't like Psaki. I'm talking about the one before her.
No, I'm saying I like the one before her, but the one before her was Maccabee's daughter.
Oh, I do remember.
What was her name? She was so goofy looking.
Dude, she was miserable to
listen to. She was like
to.
cross-eyed and fucking mean look on her face. I don't know.
How do you spell? What is it? Kelly?
I don't know what her fucking
McEnany? Oh yeah, I loved watching that chick because she would get so like, it was like watching a reality show. She had like
flare nostrils.
Dude, she would get mad and talk shit. They'd be all like, "Rawr." It was fun, dude. It was exciting. Yeah, is it Jen Psaki? Is that her name?
No, I don't know.
The new one, the redheaded lady.
Oh, Psaki? Yeah, I don't know. I don't like her. She's always lying. You always can tell she's lying.
She has those evil eyes.
Yeah, everything is
she's
bullshit.
Boring as fuck, dude. I hate watching her.
That means she's doing her job well. She's boring as fuck.
Why am I okay? Oh, I hate this when this happens. I'm unable to view the next tweet because the account owner limits who can view their tweets. Well, I don't want to fucking see your tweet anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. He doesn't really give.
Yeah, how does he know?
I don't feel like there's any real.
This guy, he likes to put little breadcrumbs out there. He was before Q.
I don't see anything in this thread actually saying where he's getting this from or why he thinks it's true.
He has a lot of inside shit on his Twitter. Like, I follow it just because it'll keep me guessing, you know? Like, what the fuck is he talking about?
But it is an interesting thought, but like, I think you're totally right. Yeah, why would just because you're a clone of Epstein doesn't mean you're gonna do what Epstein said.
So it's marching like a bunch of
unless
there's toys.
Yeah, unless there's some kind of special brainwashing thing going on. You gotta have some other like.
They probably have microchips and shit. You know?
There you go, microchipping.
They're probably
remote controlled human beings.
They're
right?
probably fucking half AI, half Epstein. Like they're.
And then like a
fucking cyborgs, maybe.
There's got to be some kind of like sex trauma in
but
there.
they're like sex robots. That's what they're like. They're they're like the dirtiest fucking, just perfect skin, like the most warped fucking Japanese guy, like his fucking wet dream. That's what they are come to life.
That sounds awesome.
They're like anime looking face. This is so gross. But I mean, that's what he would do if he could.
I'm getting all boned up over here, bro.
That's what Epstein would do. That's what Epstein would do if he could. He'd have these fucking sex robots.
That's
like
kind of what
sex
he's working
robot
for,
army.
Yeah.
That's I think what he would want to do. But if he had billions of dollars, who's to say he couldn't get it done? You know, and he's always has all these hobnobbing with all these fucking scientists and geniuses. You know. Because that's what Alex Jones thinks, that there's a breakaway civilization, like the black budget for the Pentagon. They're making all this fucking space shit. So they're gonna. Speaking of Epstein's clone army.
Oh. McAfee. Let's talk about McAfee.
Oh yeah. So why? So he was in jail for tax evasion. Is that what it was? Like what?
Yeah, I think so. He apparently didn't pay taxes like since like 2013 or something crazy, or 2014 or something.
Yeah, and he was living abroad.
Let me see. He's been abroad for years and years, and I think he evading
That's the
taxes.
shitty thing about living
place?
abroad is you have to pay U.S. American taxes.
Do you remember when he was on? Was he on Rogan when he was?
Yeah, I think he was living in Belize. That's before he started the sex cult. He started a sex cult when he was living in Belize.
What was the thing that happened where there was like a hooker that came out and said that he would like do this thing where he would have hookers sit in like a
yoga pose?
No.
You do cocaine out of their butthole?
Like they would sit in a hammock with a hole and they would shit through the hole into his mouth and to his face and stuff. Yeah, do you remember this?
No, I don't remember that part.
It was a big thing because like they came out like a couple of prostitutes came in were talking
sick bastard.
The news about it and stuff. So anyway, McAfee died. He committed suicide. They're saying
supposedly,
but apparently he had a tattoo that said
Q.
No, what was it?
I will never commit suicide.
Whacked. He had a tattoo that said whacked because he wanted people to know if he died that he'd been whacked.
Or he's telling people
he's saying like months ago. He's saying like 6 months ago that he was like, if I die so it's not going to be suicide. They're going to kill me and all this shit.
Okay. You could also do that and then kill yourself. Just throw everybody off.
That's what everybody's wondering because he's such a troll in real life. Like his whole life has been a troll. Yeah. So it's like, Did
that software work? Was it any good? I remember having it back in the day.
Yeah,
it was.
He's not associated with it anymore either. No. He made it and like bailed.
They
didn't want to have anything to do with him. He has all this like he became like a meth head and all this shit. So,
really?
Yeah, the company didn't want to have anything to do with him. They separated from him. So his wife is also saying that
he has only one.
That he, I don't know, that he didn't. He only currently has one.
Yeah.
That he didn't commit suicide. She's saying someone killed him, and there's some weird stuff going on. This is New York Post. John McAfee's wife publicly claimed that the U.S. wanted the software tycoon to die in prison just 3 days before he was found hanged in a cell.
Wow.
Janice McAfee made the damning statement Sunday in a Father's Day post while her husband was in a Spanish jail awaiting extradition to the U.S. to face federal tax evasion charges. John's honesty has often gotten him in trouble with corrupt governments and corrupt government officials because of his outspoken nature and his refusal to be extorted, intimidated, or silenced, wrote Janice, who first met McAfee while she was working as a prostitute. There you go. Oh. Now the U.S. authorities are determined to have John die in prison and make an example of him for speaking out against the corruption within their government agencies. What corruption was he speaking out against?
On podcast shit, maybe?
I don't know. Ted.
Sorry. I'm being really bad.
Flip the phone over or something, dude.
Sorry, man. That was wrong.
Yeah, I don't understand. Everybody's kind of like tripping out about it being Epstein or something, but I don't really know why they would. Like,
I think he did podcasts and he said, "Oh, the government's corrupt and shit." And I got secrets. I don't know. I think he's just a troll. That's what I think. I think he's a troll.
Yeah, I just don't understand.
I think he was like a self-styled Julian Assange, but it was all in his head. That's what I think.
Oh, I got you. Like he was going to be leaking shit and he's out there as an outlaw on the run.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Plus, yeah.
He's a legend in his own mind.
Yeah, that's interesting. So do you think he killed himself? I mean, I guess we don't know.
They might have killed him. But why would they not? Why wouldn't they just put him in jail? Why would they want to kill him?
That's what I want to know.
Like, what did he know that he would let out if he got sent here?
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm looking through this article. I'm thinking it's something. No,
because Epstein was going to rat out everybody.
There's tons of stuff you can look at Epstein and say like,
rat him out.
Here's a clear reason why someone would kill him.
Yeah, now he can't sing. You know, what was McAfee going to sing about?
Why would someone kill McAfee? I hate typing his name. It's so. It seems like he should be like McAfee.
Yeah.
McAfee.
But it's McAfee.
Okay, so that's the part we forgot to mention. He died and then there was a dead man switch.
Oh, right, yeah.
What was it on his Twitter or something? Or his Instagram?
I think it just said Q.
And it was just a picture of Q. And then it got pulled.
Probably.
So, but people were saying, oh, there's something hidden in there. And like, there's like secret messages in the picture. Cause there's ways to hide, stuff in photos. Like,
watermarks.
There's other stuff too. Like, you have to have certain programs that'll extract.
Oh, like you can't see it with the naked eye?
And like information gets pulled out. Like it'll be like so many like bits get like turned black or something. And so when it counts those, it turns, I don't know.
Imagine if you went through all that trouble and then it just says Q.
Yeah, it's another Q. It's Q's all the way down,
You guys got to go on Reddit and talk to boomers. They'll show you the way.
Those boomers know.
Yeah, they know shit.
Do you have any friends that are really like close friends that are into the Q stuff?
No.
I've got a couple.
You do?
Yeah, and they like.
Rob is into it?
No, not Rob. No, not at all. Like,
they really believe in it?
Yeah, they don't seem like the most like the people that I know. One guy, I guess, is like actually pretty in tune with shit. Like
I feel like he
keeps up with some weird stuff, and he's like, quick about it. But the other guy is like the dopiest motherfucker, man. Sometimes like,
oh, really?
Yeah, just his ideas about how the world works. It's like, dude, you're a fucking dope. Like,
well, most of the Q people I've talked to online, like I know people tangentially from online that are into Q, but they're like, they'll show me something that's already like established, like they just, it's like all the conspiracy theories all kind of like sort of wrapped up into it with a bow tied on top. Like somehow it got like that.
Yeah, like the surface of the conspiracy theories too, right?
Yeah, they'll just show me some. Look, this is the CIA. Did you know the CIA fucking sold drugs?
Right.
To fucking fund Iran Contra? Like they'll be like,
you're like, yeah, and then they're like, so
Q is true.
So Q.
It's like, what the fuck? That has nothing to do with that.
I'm surprised that the thing is still going after January 6th and all that.
Because obviously Trump is not winning anything.
No,
he's not doing shit. Like he didn't fucking. They were all saying everything when everything looked like it was going to get fucked up, and they were going to impeach Trump or do something to him. They'd be like, that's part of Trump's plan. He wants them to think that,
4D chess, bro.
Yeah, but then he really got fucked over and banned off all social media. Like they can't think he's like triumphant in anything now, can they? Or maybe
they do. But they clearly do.
Maybe they do think that. Like, he really won the election.
And remember they kept saying over and over, like, you watch this January, whatever. At first it was like January 6th, and it was like January 30th. They were like having all these weird dates where it was like, at this date, that's what it's going to come
and then they had all these fucking sealed indictments, these sealed indictments are going to be revealed. They fucking never were revealed.
That's so strange.
Are these people still like indicted? Like, when's the court case? Why would you keep
holding on? I'm sure that a bunch of people have dropped off of it by now, right? Like,
Q?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. They're like flat earthers, kind of, like.
Right.
It's probably, yeah. Well, they keep shutting shit down. Like, they would shut shit down where they would meet. Because, like, it was on 4chan. But in 4chan, you see, like, tons of, like, fisting and shit. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, super gross shit. Yeah. So all the boomers didn't really want to go right on 4chan.
Right.
They didn't want to wade through a bunch of shit.
Uh-huh.
So they would, so other people would read the 4chan stuff and they would put it on this website. I forgot what it's called.
It was
that got shut down.
Q notes or something.
Yeah, that got shut down. Yeah.
Oh, really?
So then they had to go back to 4chan. These little grandmothers and shit. Look at like people with distended fucking
distended assholes. Poor grandma. She's like, oh, the things I do for Q. What if Q is all just like an actual conspiracy to make grandmas look at distended buttholes?
Probably. I mean, it'd make about as much sense as anything else would do. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it's still around.
But I mean, all the Q though, I did follow one guy because how I was saying I try to follow a lot of different camps on Twitter, and I try to find a smart person from each camp. Mm-hmm. And I found this one guy that he supposedly was into Q, and he was like pretty smart. And so I did follow him, but I think he got banned or he quit Twitter. I don't see his stuff anymore.
Mm.
So
I noticed a lot of the people that like I follow that are that were Q people don't seem to be Q people anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think like the super Trump shit, it's just like Trump worship. It's just like Trump mythology. Like Trump is this amazing fucking savior.
Well, okay, what do you think that is? Why does that exist? Because I used to be like, that's bullshit, but that clearly exists, man. There's definitely...
I don't know. People need a hero, I guess. But they would like project... Like this guy Garrison, like he always draws them with a deep chest.
Yeah, I remember that.
Broad shoulders and a square jaw, and he always looks super determined and confident, you know.
Which is like not what he looks like in real life at all.
No, he's like got like 4 chins, fat wide ass. Yeah. You know, he's like fucking spray painted orange.
He looks really crazy when you just stop and look at him as a person.
Fucking enormous comb over.
Like he's nuts looking.
Even when I was a kid, I'd be like, wow, he's surrounded by yes men. You know, like when I was young, I'd be like, wow, he's surrounded by yes men because his comb over looks stupid as fuck.
I remember thinking his comb over was crazy.
Yeah, and I was thinking, nobody's going to tell him the truth. Like, you look like a fucking idiot. I remember thinking that like in the 80s, you know.
Really, yeah.
Or maybe the 90s, you know, when I was like in my 20s.
I remember when he was doing that show, that reality show. I would always be like, what the fuck is with this crazy looking guy? Yeah.
And I had his book. I think I fucking read his book. Somebody had it. I mean, I read the first few.
The self-help thing that he did?
Yeah, like the Art of the Deal or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I read part of it. It was
That's interesting.
I remember him saying his mom gave him advice like, be yourself and trust God. Like that was his motto he learned from his mother. But it kind of makes sense. Like, be the world's biggest fucking asshole.
Yeah, it worked.
Just trust God that it'll all work out.
It clearly worked.
I guess it works.
He became a president.
Yep.
Do you think he's going to come back on as like an advisor or something? I mean, he keeps talking about running in 2024. I think.
Who would he advise? Like, who would want his advice?
Not as an advisor, but as like a cabinet member for a Republican.
Really? For some right wing dingling. Yeah. I don't know. How could he like share the spotlight with somebody else?
Dude, that's a good question. Yeah. That's a good question. He's going to have to come back as president, isn't he?
It's like, whoa, what I would do. Like, how is he going to give advice?
Think he's going to run the next time?
I think he's maybe going to. There's people that'll probably want. Yeah, I think he'll try to run 2024. So, yeah, you can do that. I think you can be concurrent. You could be non-con or whatever they call it. Non. Yeah. There was 2 presidents that did it, I think, besides Trump.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, he's totally fine to do that. It's open and clear for him. So.
Unless he's a felon, but he never got convicted, maybe, did he?
No.
Yeah.
No, he's not a felon.
No, he's just banned from social media.
Yeah, he didn't get in actual trouble, just Twitter. He's in Twitter jail, that's all.
But a lot of people think he was groomed to be president eventually. Because he was talking about, I remember in the 80s, talking about running.
Yeah, we were talking about this before. He was, but as a Democrat, remember?
Yeah, he was a Democrat, yeah.
Didn't he try to run as a Democrat? Or
he was anti-nuke for a while.
I think he campaigned as he tried to get a nomination for it, didn't he? Wait, let's look that up.
He was anti-nuke. Did you know that? Yeah.
He registered as a Republican in Manhattan in 87. Reform Party in 99. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like, what's his name? That other rich guy. That was his party he started.
Yeah, I don't know that he ran. I don't know.
Yeah, what's that guy? Perot. Ross Perot.
Ross Perot, yep.
He ran on the Reform Party.
Mm-hmm. I bet those guys are friends.
Ross Perot?
Yeah, and Trump.
Maybe. And then the guy in Minnesota, Jesse Ventura. He ran.
I fucking love Jesse Ventura. I love it.
What's up with his hair, though? He needs to figure something out.
There's so many things, dude. So many things, like the weird leather jackets.
I love him in Predator. I don't have time to bleed. Yeah, I feel like he never changed from that.
I really he used to have that conspiracy show. Did you ever watch that?
I heard it was stupid.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's really fun to watch.
Oh,
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like inadvertently.
So stupid, it's funny.
Yeah, because he's just he's a character, dude. And he'll do shit like he goes to I can't remember where.
I lived in Minnesota when he was governor.
It's like he either goes, oh nice. Yeah. He either goes to the Pentagon or something like that. There's some place that they're supposed to have secret hidden alien technology, and he just goes and knocks on the door. He's like, I'm Jesse Ventura, open the door. And they're like, we can't open the door. He's like, why not? I used to be a governor. You should be. If anyone should have access, it should be me.
That's funny.
Fucking hilarious, dude. It was great. That show was awesome.
His fucking accent, that's a Minnesota accent.
I used to be the body, but now I'm the mind.
He's such a fucking idiot. No, but he used to get in fights with that guy that got Me Too'd. That used to have that show on NPR, that Lake Wobegon guy. What the fuck's his name?
I have no idea.
You know who he is. He'd tell the Lake Wobegon stories. It'd be every Sunday night on NPR. You don't know who that fucking guy is?
No, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know what you're talking about.
He made up this town, this fake Midwestern town called Lake Wobegon. It's like based on some town in Minnesota. And he would tell all these fucking stories about like old people and stuff. He just would make up stories. And they'd have singers and they'd have entertainment. It was like a variety show.
Garrison Keillor.
Garrison Keillor, he got Me Too'd and kicked off NPR. But when he was riding high back in the day, he would have special fucking Lake Wobegons aimed at Jesse Ventura and like make fun of him. And then Jesse Ventura would put out statements that were like, he was like subtweeting him kind of in like a statement, you know? And they had these fucking wars going back and forth.
Dude, Garrison Keillor looks like a creep. Like every photo.
I don't know what he did to get Me
Too'd. Looks like a fucking goblin.
He did something bad.
Let's look it up. I guess I can't look up Me Too'd. That won't work, huh?
Look up Garrison Keillor.
Controversy.
Me Too.
November 9th, or 29th, 2017, the Star Tribune reported that Minnesota Public Radio was terminating all business relationships with Keillor as a result of allegations of inappropriate behavior with an individual who worked with him.
Doesn't really say much, does it?
No, it doesn't. Oh, that's from fucking, here we go. Accused of inappropriate behavior.
That's all you gotta do is get accused of it?
It does seem like that's the case these days, right?
Wow.
Did you, like...
That was in the height of it, though. I think it's calmed down a little bit since then. This was when they were putting Weinstein through the ringer.
Prairie Home Companion.
Yeah, that's the name of it. You've heard of it, right? So he fucking hated Jesse Ventura, and they would go back and forth.
Okay, I know this exact guy. I don't like this guy either.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. I already hate it. I hate that show. I fucking hate that show.
You'd be switching around on a road trip and stuff.
With their weird, like, echo, like, where they make it to where it sounds like it's on a stage somewhere, even though it's not.
I think it might have been, though. It might have been on a stage.
Did they do it live?
Yeah, I think he did it live. Because he was good at making up stories live, you know, and it would be kind of, he'd paint a picture, and it always involved, like, some old
He's got that golden voice, too, huh?
Yeah,
he's got a really nice voice, actually.
Yeah, he has a good storytelling type voice.
If I had $1 for every woman who asked to take a selfie with me and who slipped an arm around me and let it drift down below the belt line, I'd have at least $100.
He said that?
So this is poetic irony of a high order, Keillor said.
The fuck? All these old broads just want to feel me up.
Yeah, right, dude. Come on. He is a goblin. He looks so terrible.
They all wanted it. He sounds gross.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. Garrison Keillor has been an important part of the growth and success of NPR, and all of us in the NPR community are saddened by the circumstances. John McTaggart, president of NPR, said in a statement.
We're saddened?
This is NPR, by the way.
Like, you either think it's true or you don't. Like, how could you be saddened?
While we appreciate the contributions Garrison made to all public radio, we believe
we don't appreciate the groping.
Is the right thing to do, and it's okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Keillor told the Associated Press that NPR cut ties with him over a story that I think is more interesting and more complicated than the version NPR heard. The radio personality later told the Star Tribune that he was not in general physically demonstrative and that the incident that led to his firing involved touching a woman's bare skin. I meant to pat her back after she told me about her unhappiness and her shirt was open and my hand went up it about 6 inches?
What?
She recoiled, and I apologized. 6 inches.
Well,
that's a pretty good amount to be accidentally slipping your hand.
What if it was billowed out, you know?
Just maybe. Maybe. On Tuesday,
That's all he did, though, is, like... I mean...
Yeah, I think so,
What did she say he did, though? See, we're not getting her side.
No, we're not. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, I mean, I don't
want to
I kind of like NPR in some ways, but then I get sick of it after a while because they always whisper and it's just fucking. they never talk about anything that has to do with Americans fucking struggling. It's always like, let's go to Cambodia and see what they're doing. You know, like they never. Then they go over the fucking stocks. Like, you know, it caters to like rich white liberals, you know, like it totally caters to them.
Or people who want to like pretend to be.
Yeah. Like aspire to that.
Yeah. Like, I'm real smart. I listen to NPR.
Like very Eastern.
Like when I was in high school, I listened to NPR.
Oh, really?
Because it made me feel like I was a smart person.
Well, I mean, I did listen to it on road trips because, like, you know, I get sick of fucking talk radio. You know, I want the other side of the story. I heard the Rush Limbaugh side. You know, now I want to hear like the liberal side. You know, so I listen to it. And it is interesting. They'll cover some weird shit going on.
Yeah,
somewhere like in this country, they eat squids that they grow in a field.
The problem with NPR is it's like low level interesting. Like it's just interesting enough to keep you from changing the channel. But like, who fucking cares really at the end of the day?
No, that's true. There's too many stories like these. These old women that used to get together and knit, they're fucking promoting abortion. You know, it's like I don't know.
They used to love Trump. Now I don't know. Okay. What the fuck were we even talking about before we got
Garrison Keillor?
Why did we start talking
Jesse
about
Ventura?
Jesse Ventura. He used to be the body.
Now he's the mind. And the really long strip of really bald hair.
I mean, speaking of Jesse Ventura, I guess we can talk UFOs, right?
Yeah, are they real? Sager thinks they are.
Yeah, so before we get into the thing with the Pentagon, because that's the big news, is the Pentagon. Remember?
I didn't catch that.
So
you told me.
During I think it was the COVID bill?
Yeah.
Shit, I can't remember now. There was a bill like a few months back that got passed, and they kind of stuck into it. I think like a rider or something. That said that the head of the
has to reveal the UFOs or something.
Yeah, I can't remember
UFO evidence.
The head of the National Institute of
Space Force
something. NI something cool acronym. That they had to put out a report on everything that the Pentagon knows about the UAPs.
Oh yeah, unidentified.
So we've been counting down. We've been waiting around.
What is UAP?
Unidentified aerial phenomena.
Oh, okay.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, okay.
That's the new fresh word that they use instead of UFO. So yeah, I've been waiting for because they put a date on it. Like
and they said they're not aliens.
I think they gave them like 3 months. They said you have 3 months to put out this report or whatever, and it finally kicked off last week.
They said they're not aliens.
They put out it's a 9-page report. That's it. Like it had 9 pages, I think.
I gotta pee though.
Oh, go for it.
Okay.
Oh, so anyway, so yeah, the Pentagon put out that report.
Yeah.
It's only, I think, 8 pages. It's very tiny. And it says that ultimately the conclusion is that it is man-made. But then when they list off what it could be, like, they're like, we don't really know. So
I didn't know it's man-made.
There's nothing. There's nothing there saying that, Ted. There's nothing there saying that. I don't know why. They just said that that's their conclusion.
We don't know who these men are.
We don't know what it is. So it's probably not aliens.
Why can't it be woman made?
See? Dun dun.
Why can't it be non-binary? Why do you got to be Why you got to be binary?
So this actually came out before then, but we were talking, was it last week or the week before, about Alex Jones. Alex Jones was on the Love Boat Flagrant 2 podcast, and he was saying that he thought that it was government, like secret government technology, that we were using this as kind of a way to flex for China and Russia and be like, watch out, bitch, we got this stuff.
So they've been doing that since the 40s because of that?
I don't know. Well, this specific thing right now, this leak, I guess, this release, that's what Alex Jones was saying.
Oh yeah, Alex Jones thinks that. Yeah.
So I'm gonna cut a little bit of this in. This is Sager from Breaking Points. I keep wanting to call it The Hill still. My bad, guys. But
Breaking Points.
And he's talking about this. This came out actually before the release. But he says that he thinks it is aliens.
phenomenon. Now, the report is due out for members of Congress, but because I used to cover the Pentagon, I know their little tricks. The Pentagon hates Congress because it legally has to tell them all their secrets, at least ostensibly, and that usually means that those secrets, at least some, become public. Therefore, when you know something is about to come out and Congress is going to leak it, what do? You leak it yourself on the condition that the people that you leak it to write the story the way that it's best for you and serves your interests. That's exactly what happened Friday with the New York Times, where the headline blared, quote, "Government finds no evidence aerial sightings were alien spacecraft." Oh wow, that's huge news, right? They ruled out aliens for UFOs? Yeah, they forgot to add this part, quote, "But they still cannot explain the unusual movements that have mystified scientists and the military." Oh, so basically they have no evidence it's aliens and no evidence that it's not. Critically within the story, the forthcoming UFO report concludes that some of the UFO sightings by U.S. military aircraft have no discernible human explanation. Furthermore, they rule out, at least for now, something even more important. That the technology, at least according to them, is not top secret U.S. government technology. And then, if you read even further, you get this bombshell line, quote, "One possible explanation that the phenomena could be weather balloons or other research balloons does not hold up in all cases," the official said, because of changes in wind speed at the times of some of the interactions. So this is huge. The weather balloon explanation has been a #1 response from the professional debunkers. And now you have the military itself saying, nope, according to the data, that's not it. But still, that's not everything. All of this leads to an important conclusion. The Pentagon is gaslighting the media into reporting that they have found no evidence of aliens, when in reality, the news is that they have evidence that the phenomena they have encountered are not human and that they are themselves just ruled out the most possible conventional explanations. More so, the Pentagon is doing its best to avoid admitting to the American people the most basic thing. They have no idea what UFOs are. Now, personally, I'm okay with that. But because so much of their authority rests upon convincing people otherwise, they are pointing the media in the opposite direction, telling reporters there is, quote, worry among intel officials that China or Russia could be experimenting with hypersonic technology. Now, again, this is simply more CYA from the Pentagon. They are pointing towards a hypothesis which has no evidence to back it up, but fits conveniently within their narrative. If it's a China or Russia problem, well then of course, they can call Congress. They can say, hey, we need more money, or we need more contracts in order to keep up. I've said before, this is not a PSYOP created to get more funding in the first place, but the PSYOP could be trying to deal with the forced disclosure of UFOs and channel it in a direction that they know best. Overall, I'm coming and covering this to reveal something that I've learned when reporting on foreign policy for my entire professional life. The media are water carriers for the defense industrial complex.
I guess I agree with
and on the subject of UFOs, the situation is not different.
Yeah, I think he's won me over too. And I don't know if it's because I want to believe in aliens, because that's definitely part of it.
I just want to say, Sager, explain Bigfoot. Checkmate, atheists.
But I think he's right. Like, this seems more logical to me. Yeah. That they would respond the way they're responding.
It seems lame. Because
remember, I was kind of on Alex Jones' side before. Remember, and you were saying to me like, "Hey, like, they didn't want to do this." Like, well, that was another, I guess.
Oh Sager said
Sager was the one who turned you on to that idea too. Like, it wasn't. There was a lot more pushback than it looked like.
People have been working on it for years, like banging on doors, trying to get them to talk about it.
This kind of got forced through by who's the representative that pushed this whole thing through? I always forget.
I think he was like Alaska senator or something. I don't know.
This sucks. We're terrible at this. Yeah. Sorry, fellas.
Let me take another hit.
Yeah, me too. Oh, that'll fix it. At least it'll give us a good excuse. We can be like, dude, I was totally high. I can't remember. Man. That's why I failed.
What?
So anyway, I think I've come around.
It's fucking aliens, bro.
I think I'm coming around because he's right. Why would they be trying so hard to keep people from looking at it?
Well, I think it's
thinking
just
that it was aliens.
I think it makes sense that they would try to keep people from it because it's like if they're not in charge, like nobody's going to want to listen to them. You know,
mm-hmm.
It's like fuck you, bro. I'm going to listen to what the aliens say. You know?
Yeah.
So they're like they could sense how it's destabilized things. You know?
Because I still like, I don't know, man. I still think that, but it could be the same thing as like the COVID-19 thing. I think they're gonna.
What do you think?
I don't think this was on purpose.
Yeah.
But I think now that it's happening, I think they're gonna figure out a way to use it.
Yeah,
against
we have
us.
to quadruple our budget because China has fucking alien technology.
Yeah, or like, do what Project Bluebeam and shoot make fake do a false flag alien invasion.
Maybe there will be false flag alien. Yeah, there could be. They could probably. Do you think they have enough technology to make a fake alien?
I don't know.
I
wonder.
Like a fake craft with an alien robot in it.
Hologram technology is pretty far ahead, actually. Now,
really,
it's pretty crazy. But the thing is like, okay, you can.
if you had trillions of dollars to fucking study this kind of shit, couldn't you come up with something pretty?
That's
good?
what I'm thinking. You can make, but okay. So the best kind of hologram stuff you'll see is down in Dubai,
Stone Mountain,
I guess. Wait, is it Dubai?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, they have a lot of highly advanced shit down there.
Yeah, I think so.
Architecture and everything, smart skyscrapers.
So, you can make some pretty fucking badass 3-dimensional looking
like concerts. They've done it pretty good, right?
Right,
yeah.
But you have to have like a medium for the thing to play on. So it's still like it's basically a projector and a screen.
Right.
But what they're doing is it'll be like the earlier version of the technology. I don't know that they still do this anymore. I think they have better ways of doing it now. But they used to do like a sheet of plastic that you would lay at like an angle, and then you would project onto that plastic.
Yeah.
And it appears to you that it's invisibly standing.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? But really what it is just like it's just being projected onto this piece of plastic. Then they also have these like water ones where they'll like do like droplets of water in the air. Like,
really?
They'll do like a haze. That's the one I think where they're getting weird. Like better. A lot of the ones you'll
smoke?
see. There's these like crazy. Is it Dubai? Am I wrong?
Yeah, Dubai. They have all the crazy weird shit there.
Okay. Yeah, I think it is Dubai then. Yes. Okay, so they do these like weird. You can look up like a shit ton of videos where like New Year's Eve, like any big celebration, they'll do these crazy displays where they have this fountain and it fires off these like jets.
And then they make them into holograms.
And then they'll play like they'll shoot lasers onto it, and it makes these like incredible like 3-dimensional. Like they'll have like a fucking whale. Jumping through the air, and it looks like a goddamn whale's in the air.
Wow.
And it's all because they're shooting up these streams of water. But I think they can also do it off of like small droplets, so that you put like a fog.
As long as the fog is there,
so you make a fog, and then you project light onto the fog.
Oh.
So I bet anything, man. I mean, I don't know. The problem is if it's in Dubai, Dubai's fucking already cutting edge. So maybe that is it that we've got.
Yeah.
But I would think if anyone was really trying hard, I bet they could start,
I mean 9/11's fake, so why not?
Why not? 9/11 was a hologram, bro. There never was a Twin Towers. They were always a hologram. Let's see.
Jet fuel can melt steel beams. Is that what you're trying to say?
It can melt hologram beams, bro. Easy.
But what if it's hologram jets?
So I'm kind of depressed that the Pentagon release was so small. I mean, I guess I didn't expect it actually to be anything, but
speaking of small,
Jesus Christ. Speaking of small, my wiener.
I thought you meant the world's smallest monkey wiener.
Yeah, you want to talk? You want to get some monkey story on here?
Yeah, I mean, speaking of small, like you said, nice segue.
Yeah, I loved it. Lay it on me.
So the world's smallest monkey. This is your article. I don't know what this is about.
What? This is your article, buddy.
The world's smallest monkey?
Yeah.
I can't remember. What the fuck is
this? Is from the stack of monkey stories you sent me that one week.
Oh, the world's smallest monkey. The world's smallest monkey is 2 species.
Okay.
There's 2 world's smallest monkeys.
What?
So.
That's bullshit.
Because they look exactly alike, but their DNA is different. Yeah.
Whoa. And they weigh just 100 grams.
I can't move my mouse. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Oh, here it is.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, world's smallest monkey. They're two different species. I guess they thought they were endangered, and they had them from two different spots. But the two different spots were two different monkeys.
Okay, if it's two different species, does that mean they can't make babies?
I don't know. I don't know if they live near each other. I think they might have put them in zoos together.
Like, how the fuck do you look at two things that can't make babies and think they're the same thing? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, how did they fuck this up? That's immediately what I'm thinking.
Yeah, the one in Ecuador and Peru, the ones in the Amazon are one species, and the ones in Ecuador and Peru are another species.
So what makes them different species?
Their skull and their DNA. Their skull structure is different than their DNA. Pygmy marmosets. And yeah.
Do they have it?
There's pygmy marmosets and then the other type of marmoset.
Oh my god, look at this photo of the chick holding the skull of one of them.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? It's like a tiny mouse skull.
It looks like a quarter.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Pygmy marmoset. Remember Bren and Stimpy? They had the Kodiak marmoset. He was like a little tiny fucking Bigfoot, and he would jump up on your shoulder and grab you by the chin and just fucking punch you in the face over and over again.
God, dude, that was some funny shit.
Yeah.
You know that guy got Me Too'd as well?
What?
Yeah.
The guy that created Ren and Stimpy?
Yeah.
Well, you know, he had to have been a sick person.
I know. When I heard this story, I immediately go,
was like,
oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a lot of stories about him, unfortunately. He was using his Ren and Stimpy to attract young, like, artist chicks, and he would be like, oh, why don't you come work with me on my show?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like...
Why don't you come work on this?
Yeah. Do you think his dick looked like
isn't that fucked up though?
Because Ren kind of looks like it's got like dick skin on him, you know.
Well, it's fucked up that these nerds that got rich thought that was their only chance to fucking meet anybody because they have such low self-esteem.
You think that's what it is? That
they have to fucking corner women into fucking having sex with them. I don't know. Like, what do you think it is? Like, what the fuck's wrong with them?
I don't know, man.
They use that power. they use their position of power as like a bottleneck. Like, if you want to get to where you want to go, you got to go through me. So you better.
I think you're getting to something though, because there's a certain like maybe not misogyny, but like the objectification of a woman.
But they position themselves though. Like,
but do you know what? I'm saying? Like, it's like an objectification of a woman, and then it's like treated like this object that they can now get because they're rich enough or something.
But they kind of trap them though. I mean, they're like they coerce them. Like they don't think they could. Do they like coercing them, or they think it's the only way they can get them? Like, what do you think it is?
That is weird.
You're
right. It's a lot of these like weird, like socially awkward guys
they just
who become
rich, and then they're fucking I'm gonna make them fucking do this now. You know, it's like I don't know. It just seems pathetic.
What's the likelihood that they have never really interacted with women?
Well, I think maybe they were alone long enough to have a grudge against women.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Too. Yeah.
Like, what if they've never spoken to a woman?
You didn't like me before. I'm the same person I am now, but I was broke before, or what? Is that why you didn't like me? No. Yeah. Whoa.
And think of the type of chicks that are going to be talking to them now.
All the chicks that want to be famous.
Yeah, it's going to be those gross girls.
But they're they're so keen on being famous that they're willing to do almost anything. See, that's how he gets them. So really, they were already corrupt.
It's like a weird cycle thing.
Well, I mean, unless you forcefully rape them,
he's kind of like.
But I think the thing where you trade sexual favors, that's almost like they're selling their soul. You know what I'm saying? It's like he didn't really. If he like set him up to get sexual favors for roles or whatever, it's almost like his whole thing is making them corrupt themselves. You know, who are you
thinking right now? Like Harvey Weinstein or something?
Yeah, I'm thinking of Harvey Weinstein.
So if he's,
but then also there's cases where they said he raped people. So I don't know. Maybe that's not the same kind of thing. But I feel like with Epstein, he wanted them to like choose it. You know, like he liked the idea of him using his mind to manipulate them. You know, like he wasn't into like forcing them to do anything.
No, it was like this weird thing where
Like he wanted to corrupt. He wanted them to choose to be corrupt, you know, and then come back. Like
because he would kind of it was almost like cult training.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Once you became one of his hookers or whatever, I guess that's not a nice term for these fucking shit kids. Yeah, they're not hookers.
Then they had to recruit others and stuff.
Yeah, he would then send you out to recruit others. So that's exactly like this weird cult kind of like stuff.
It's very insidious.
Yeah, there's so much weirdness with that, dude. You're right. What makes like people like? I guess I haven't really. Every once in a while, I guess I think about it, but mostly I'm like, oh, they're evil. But
not all the women were against them either. Like there's some they were interviewing the women, the victims, and there was this one girl that they never were able to get a hold of, but they got a hold of her mother. And she was like, all those girls knew what they were doing. Like, why'd they keep coming back? You know, like because her daughter just said, fuck it, I'll do it for money.
Yeah.
And then I'm not going to go to court against them, you know? Mm-hmm. And she was like, they all knew what they were doing. They were just hookers is what they were. That's what she was saying. You know, this woman.
Yeah. And
which, I mean, if they were,
except that they're
underage though.
Yeah.
You know, so what's the, you know, we don't want to get super creepy and say that they're, age of consent, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not. I think it's fair game to persecute people for going after young girls under 18. So you know, I think
because you're being manipulative.
Yeah, I think he is. They're not adults. You know,
like I can easily get a kid to agree to something that isn't good for them.
Well, he would prey on fucked up kids,
like,
you know, in trailer parks,
right?
Fucking abuse,
and you can get them to like agree with you. So
they needed money. They were poor.
It's easy to look at it from the outside and go, "Oh, this person is saying yes, so they mean yes." But it's like, well, no, man. Yeah. They were kind of tricked into saying yes.
The power differential.
Yeah, there's something going on here that tricked them into. There's a power differential they talk about. I think that's.
But then you wonder why.
But also, just like being a manipulative personality, like this guy was good at manipulating people. Ghislaine is the real one because
remember that one girl was working for Trump.
No,
she was working at Trump. She was working in Miami, like Trump's place in Miami. What's the name of that place he has?
Oh, I kind of remember the story.
Like the main witness, the Gouffre woman. Like she was working at Trump's club, and then Ghislaine and Epstein were there, and they saw her reading a book about massage. She's like, "Oh yeah, I'm studying to be a massage therapist." Yes. Really, she was a high school dropout.
You're right. Yes,
she was working at Trump. So why the fuck was she working there? Like that almost implicates Trump. I feel like.
Maybe. I mean, she could have just been someone there, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
The fact that they're shopping for girls at Trump's place.
Right. Like, these are some likely candidates because Trump's a fucking
that seems kind of weird, right? Yeah. Maybe that's.
But the ones that really turned against them were rich girls that realized how fucked up it was. They were trying to be manipulated. These two artists, like, they were the most normal people that had a strong will and were offended by it. But some girl that grew up in a fucking, you know, shithole trailer park and has been abused, you know, she wouldn't take umbrage as much. She'd be like, fuck, look, this guy's...
Which is how they got away with it so long.
Yeah, right.
That's what's...
Yeah, when they preyed on the rich girls, that's when they messed up and they turned against them.
I know you're talking about that one girl went on that podcast. They had a really... I can't remember who put it out.
Oh, really?
There's this really, like, an 8-episode podcast, which... It was cool. It was interesting and good to listen to. I'll have to look it up.
I watched something where some of them seemed like they were on drugs. Like it was so stressful to like talk about it that they had to take drugs. Or
that
something.
Makes sense.
I got that impression.
That makes sense.
So, yeah.
But I heard. Yeah,
this a lot of them that got into drugs after they left Epstein. You know.
That makes sense, man.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
There's some that were the recruiters and they got pretty successful later in life, and they're like pretty guilty. You know. So.
How does that all tie in with that dude with the Victoria's Secret guy? Like
he owned the apartment in New York and he gave it to him. And Epstein was his power of attorney.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Well, they think they were lovers. Like they had a gay relationship. Yeah.
Why?
Because he basically honeypotted him, you know, like he fucking how would he get him to give him all his money? Like that's a theory with that guy.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Because why would you give all your money to fucking Epstein if you're the guy that owns Victoria's Secret? Like, why would you do that?
Yeah,
You know? Like it just seems.
And then
bizarre.
later they really like denied it hard. Remember, like all of his people were saying like, oh, he never had any business relationship. And then people were like, yeah, they did. And he goes, okay, well, he had a little bit of a business. And it just kept like inching more and more and finding out.
Like that Sager story. Like,
that's crazy.
I only hung around Trump because he was going to get me the Nobel Peace Prize. He's the one that connected me to the Nobel Peace Prize committee. Right. And then Sager's like, why is nobody asking? Why did Epstein know all the members of the fucking Nobel Peace
Could he get
committee?
the Nobel Peace Prize for you? Why is Epstein able to?
Like, you're a fucking billionaire. Like, why would you need Epstein to get you a meeting with the fucking Nobel Peace Prize committee? So he had something that fucking what's his name wanted, you know?
So strange, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking Epstein. Epstein's always got to steal the wind.
He's always at the bottom of every rabbit hole. He's at the bottom of a lot. You end up there. You end up with Epstein.
Yeah.
You end up with the Scythians and then Epstein. Every matter, whatever hole you started.
But no Satanists. We never find Satanists.
No, there's some rabbit holes that go that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It's probably some weird Masonic variation, you know.
Dude, I'm so like
spent.
Yeah,
that's okay.
It's fucking that was terrible.
What's terrible?
I thought too much about Epstein just now.
Oh, really? That you feel gross?
Yeah.
You got to take a shower. We should eat some food.
I was for real thinking like too hard about it.
Gross. You just felt gross after a while.
Like, why would a person do that?
I know, he's fucked up. He's a fucked up individual. It probably wasn't hard to pay that fucking cop to kill him.
I want to know.
I think that cop killed him and his roommates. I think they paid him to strangle him.
The big scary dude.
Yeah,
he was a cop.
Yeah, he was an ex-cop that was on steroids. He was like a.
I didn't know he was an ex-cop.
Yeah, his cellmate was this fucking huge bodybuilder.
Yeah, I knew that part.
Yeah,
and then he was like threatening him and shit, right? And
I think he fucking murdered him. They probably hired him to do it. That's what I think.
Because was he in the room when he died?
I don't know.
Man, that's weird. I don't remember enough about it now.
No.
Actually, how long ago did that happen? When did Epstein died?
It's been a year.
Is that all?
Maybe more. Maybe 2 years.
2019. August 2019.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah,
so it's been almost 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Wow. I remember that being really crazy because that was going around the Pizzagate stuff.
Yep.
That was one of the things. There's a few things in Pizzagate that were totally accurate and weird. And I kind of feel like the whole idea of Pizzagate was built to discredit couple things.
They call that a name. There's a name for that, like a cutout. It was a cutout.
Yeah, what do they call that? It's like
disinformation.
Limited hangout.
Limited hangout.
Yeah, limited
hangout. Yeah.
I really think that's what the case was with Pizzagate. I mean, it's called Pizzagate. It's so silly of a name.
But pizza is a symbol.
It is for sure. Yeah. It's absolutely real. Yeah, that's cheese pizza, CP, child pornography.
Oh, really? That's a cheese. Oh, that's so.
That's why.
Gross.
That's where it comes from.
Oh, okay.
Like, because people would use it as a code to talk to each other in public about child pornography. They would say, "Oh, well, I like cheese pizza."
Can you imagine? Can you imagine like being in a restaurant and there's this two fucking pedophiles like right next to you, like while you're eating,
Coded,
right there,
talking about pizza,
about fucking. Oh, you look over and they got these big water guys. And they got that slimy look.
My creative writing teacher, one of my favorite teachers in the world in high school,
was a pedo.
A couple of years ago, like 2 years ago.
Really?
Got busted with child pornography.
Oh, really?
It was like on the news and shit. My sister sends me a fucking link and it's like, wasn't this guy your teacher? And I'm like, oh my God. Not only was he a teacher, that was like one of my favorite teachers.
Weren't you guys really close? Quote unquote.
I'm like, yeah, but I didn't like it. And I like run away.
Didn't they have that after school program?
Dude, yeah, I was following that for a while. He's in prison. They put him in prison. Yeah. This was, I think it was 2 years ago because I kept like fucking every week I was checking.
Jail? Wow.
Yeah. He got prison time for it. He was distributing it, I think. They said like,
really?
Yeah, it was a lot. Ken Fontenot, if anybody wants to look that up. But yeah, he was
super creative.
Super creative. It fucked up, man. And I would have never guessed, honestly.
Really?
Like, no, I never would have guessed, actually.
I just thought he was friendly.
He never acted weird. In fact, me and my friends would try to like bug him and come over to his house and shit and like be like, you know, we were bad kids, so we were like trying to like test the barriers and shit.
Oh, okay.
And he wouldn't even like let us come in. Like he was not entertaining that at all.
Oh, good.
He'd be like, "Fuck off, get out of here," you know.
Good.
Like my buddy hunted him down, like found out where his apartment was and stuff. It was very weird.
Really? That is weird.
Very weird, but just to fuck with him too. We were weirdos, just messing with him. So I guess let him know that we liked him, you know.
Did you like turn his computer upside down?
We never went there.
Turn his screen upside down. Then you find all the fucking child,
and then all the porn comes falling out. It's just like, oh, but yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know. That really fucked with me a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was already in the middle of like going down Pizzagate rabbit holes too.
Oh yeah, I went down a rabbit hole.
But that's what I was talking about originally. That's where I first.
But those brothers
Epstein.
are fucking pedos. The brothers that ran Hillary's campaign, those Podesta brothers.
Do you think so? Because
I think so.
Because there's not actual any evidence.
Yeah, their art they had all this weird.
Okay. Yeah, we could talk about that because that's.
Yeah,
but
I don't even want to talk about it. It makes me sick.
They don't have they don't have an actual like history that you can point at and be like they got busted for anything.
But their art.
But that's what Pizzagate was all about. Was the weird stuff.
Yeah, very disturbing shit.
So yeah, there was that one artist who would do the.
I don't even want to. Just me the willies.
Yeah, I don't even want to describe.
I don't even want to talk about. I don't even want to talk about. But they're and the guy that owned the restaurant is a fucking.
You think so?
Yeah,
you think so?
Totally was because he had that Instagram account with where all the fucking weird shit on it.
He had his profile picture.
His profile was that statue Roman guy that got like
was known for his pedophilia.
Yeah. And he had all this weird, bizarre shit on his Instagram. Then he deleted all of it.
What is it, Jason or James Elephantis?
Yeah, James Elephantis. Yeah,
and he was dating, or maybe he got married to the guy who
ran Hillary's campaign. Yeah,
or was part of Hillary. He didn't run. Well, no, not John Podesta.
No, the what's his nuts? That real corrupt guy. He used to be right wing, and then he went left wing, and he worked for Hillary.
He did the Media Matters.
Yeah,
right?
Media Matters. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, that was his boyfriend.
They're like ex.
And then like he was just some fucking dude that owned a pizza joint, and then he was the 100 most influential people in the U.S. Like, what the fuck was that all about?
So much weirdness about it.
It's really weird. Like, why was he so well connected? Like, why was he so well connected?
I loved getting into that Pizzagate stuff, dude. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was really fun,
creepy, but it was interesting because it seems real.
Yeah, it was fun finding the stuff that seemed real and the stuff that seemed fake, and kind of trying to suss out which things were what.
Yeah,
I never really settled on what I felt about the Podestas though, because they have creepy. Well, it's the one Podesta has the creepy art, not John Podesta, his brother.
Oh, I thought they both did.
Oh, maybe I don't know. I don't remember that. I remember for sure the other brother, the bigger dude, the guy, the fatter dude. He had like this massive.
Well, there's emails. He's like he could say shit in code in his emails.
Okay, yeah.
Like, we're gonna have a hot tub. Like, bring the children or something.
I remember that.
Like weird shit like that.
Yeah, I remember that. But see that again. I mean, that's not. It's kind of like circumstantial.
You talk about pizza a lot.
But that's the thing. They talked about pizza. They talked about like weird shit like that. Well, that one I think he said hot dogs. Right? They're saying something about bring your kids or bring the hot dogs or something weird. It was strange, for the entertainment.
Yeah, it was weird.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Why would they have hot dogs at a fucking $500 a plate dinner or whatever?
You're talking about the Obama?
No, I'm saying like, why would he be bringing hot dogs?
I didn't know you went this deep with it. I did too. I
remember all this shit. Because I read all that shit on Vote and all that stuff.
Oh, we did actually send some back and forth.
A little bit.
Because you were also...
Tail end of it.
I remember it. Yeah. But I think generally speaking, most of it... I was kind of leery of all that stuff.
Yeah.
With the Podestas, because it was so...
I wasn't leery. That's where I thought the smoking gun was. Those guys.
See, I felt like that one kind of felt like the most, hyped up idea.
That Elephantis guy, he was guilty of something.
I feel like they were all guilty of something, but I feel like that was the part where they were hiding the kernels. It was by giving you, because that made it too attractive to go look at that and be like, I wonder what the fuck's going on with these creeps, you know?
Yeah. But they were probably just the surface, scratching.
That's what I feel like. Maybe they were like the thing to keep you all online chasing your tails. And then it became QAnon. I feel like that's where QAnon came from, was all the Pizzagate people.
Right.
Because they're the same people. It was like these weird...
Yeah, I think so.
I remember hanging out in Vote and reading like some of the stupidest comments from people that clearly didn't understand, like...
Also, the Donald Reddit.
Donald, that's right.
where a lot of Q came from. I think. Yeah,
but a lot of the Pizzagate people were from the Donald.
That's
I remember.
True.
I remember that.
That's
like,
true. Yeah, because that's the mythology. He's going to hunt down all these guys, like a vampire slayer. But he didn't do shit. Really.
The swamp was.
I guess they did have low-level child trafficking busts. He had like a lot of stuff like that. I guess.
Yeah, but who knows if that was him? I mean,
it was his government.
But there was a way more than previous. Yeah, that's true. You're right. I forgot about this.
Q would say, "See, it's happening," but it would just be some. It would never be like real famous people or anything.
No, but it would just be these really big, like 400 person.
Right, these big operations
across multiple states.
Like, I guess it got opened my eyes to how prevalent it is.
Me too.
It's a lot of money.
That was the real thing at the end of the Pizzagate thing. Was after all the fun was over.
Yeah,
I got real aware of how fucked up people are and how like the real shit was where I started bumbling into like the real stuff. And I was like, oh, this isn't so fun anymore. This isn't like me talking about the possibility of people harvesting adrenochrome from baby sacrifices.
Well, there's some big part of Texas
this is like
and Oklahoma.
Legit, like, in real life, there's people who kidnap kids and use them for sex, like trade and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. Like that's never really, I guess.
That's the real shit. Yeah.
I feel like that happened to a lot of people over the last couple of years. There's like people are suddenly really aware of this now.
Yeah. Well, there's like the Catholic Church and like Boys Town, and there's all these kind of connections, Yeah.
And thank God, man.
Yeah, that's good.
Maybe that stuff will start going away. I don't know.
They're covering up Epstein though, like just by not covering it,
Yeah. So. But everybody knows about Epstein now, right?
Yeah. But dude, I'm like really hungry.
Let's go eat.
Okay.
Let's do it, buddy.
Is that too abrupt?
Oh, let's go. Where can people find you, bro?
Find me on Twitter at Ted Heisman.
Oh, and then find us at CCN Podcast.
And now on YouTube.
Yeah, we're on YouTube now. So
what are we at YouTube? What are we on? What's it called?
It's just Coincidence Control Network.
Yeah, fucking
CCN. I think if you look up, I had trouble searching it under Coincidence Control Network. I think I had better luck looking under CCN.
Okay, I have a wish list.
We're gonna set up an OnlyFans. Yeah. By next week, we'll have an OnlyFans. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Catch you next week. Bye.